A superb race. There's Ryan Moore just having a chat. A couple of other jockeys just making their way out. Jamie Heffernan on the far side there. Pat Smullen, of course, has picked up that superb ride on Cracksman.
Runners in the pre-parade ring ahead of the Dubai Duty Free Irish Derby 2017. First one we see is Douglas MacArthur, part of a typically strong Ballydoyle contingent here. Douglas MacArthur, who ran so well for a long way at Epsom, went off pretty hard from the front, ended up fading into 7th place, beaten 5 lengths by the winner, Wings of Eagles. Donnacha O'Brien takes over from Colin O'Donoghue today. It'd be interesting to see if similar tactics are adopted, but this horse, who won a trial at Leopardstown earlier on in the season, certainly has the ability to have a big say in the final outcome here. I think he's improving with racing and should give a good account of himself, as I say. Following him round is number 5 Grandee from Jessica Harrington's yard. Jessica, who's had such an incredible year, so close to Royal Ascot glory with the likes of Brother Bear and Alpha Centauri. And Grandee, a good winner last time at Leopardstown in the listed King George the Fifth Cup, beating Azira by 2 1/4 lengths. Shade unlucky not to win at Navan the time before, when he just got caught in a bit of traffic before flying home. He's a good, tough, staying type. Whether he'll have the class to win a derby is a moot point, but he stays so well that you'd imagine Colin O'Donoghue's on him today will make plenty of use of him. Following him around is the fascinating French raider Volgeist from the André Fabre stable. A very infrequent visitor to Ireland with his horses these days, André, but we all remember Hurricane Run winning this race, and indeed the Tattersalls Gold Cup the following season. This horse, by Galileo, out of a Monson mare, bred to, if anything, be even better over 1.5 miles, and his form to date has been so good over 1.25 miles that is a pretty exciting prospect. He was second to Bramato, just caught close home in the Prix de Jockey Club. Had Capri, amongst others, behind him when he won the Group 1 Grand Prix de Saint-Cloud last autumn, and without question one of the principals here today. Let's drop back and show you the grey horse Capri, who I was just talking about there, third to Volgeist in that Group 1 last autumn. He himself went to Epsom last time, ran better, I think, than the bare form suggests. He got caught out pretty wide and made his move probably in the hottest part of the race, and in the circumstances to be beaten just 4 lengths behind Wings of Eagles was a highly creditable effort. And whatever happens, I think he'll get a bit closer to his conqueror today. There were 4 lengths between them on that occasion. Jamie Heffernan's on board once again. He's got a lot of faith in this horse, and Capri is a horse I think could be capable of, at the very least, making the frame here. Whether he'll be good enough to reverse the form with Wings of Eagles and beat the likes of Volgeist is another matter, but having run so well in a couple of trials earlier on in the year, in particular the Derrinstown, when he was just touched off in that 3-way battle with the likes of Douglas MacArthur, he adds further lustre to the lineup here. A couple of his stablemates are going to be bigger prices preceding him in the pre-parade, Taj Mahal and the Anvil. Taj Mahal, who comes here after running at Royal Ascot, finished 4th to Ben Battle in the Hampton Court Stakes. Not disgraced. He was 4th in the Prix de Jockey Club before that, not too far behind Volgeist, so he's earned his place here. He's the mount of Wayne Lorden and the Anvil. Of course, Anne O'Brien already amongst the winners here today. She had a good ride from this horse at Epsom before he ultimately weakened out of contention. Cracksman's already gone into the main parade ring, and the Epsom hero is just being saddled now by Aidan O'Brien. The finishing touches being put to Wings of Eagles just in the corner box here. 40-1 shock winner under Pádraig Beggy on the first Saturday in June, of course, and out to prove that there was absolutely no fluke in that today. He's got a confirmed superiority over a few of his victims at Epsom, as well as dealing with a couple of others, most notably Volgeist. But Wings of Eagles, the son of Pour Moi, about to put it on the line in the Dubai Duty Free Irish Derby. Here he comes. We're just about to emerge from his stall. Aidan O'Brien himself just giving him a final brush down. And Ryan Moore, of course, taking over. Porrig Beggy sitting this one out. He won't forget that day at Epsom in a hurry. But Ryan Moore, of course, the main man for the Coolmore team, he steps in for the mount today. And we'll find out very shortly indeed whether he can pull off the double that Harzand was the most recent to achieve 12 months ago.
That was a little bit earlier on. There is the parade then as they go past the stands. Kevin Manning there, just altering his stirrups. Now, we do have a race at Newcastle shortly before the Irish Derby, which is, I know, unfortunate. And then to crown it all, there's a loose one as well, which is a little bit annoying. It's currently on the golf course, apparently. In some ways, obviously I hope the horse is okay, but in some ways, and the jockey, that this works out well for us, because there could be a delay. Right, let's concentrate on the Curragh whilst things are happening at Newcastle. There's I can just see in another screen the problems there. But Wings of Eagles then is your favourite at 2-1. Cracksman at 3-1. Valgeist also 3-1. Capri at 7-1. There is Pat just letting off Wings of Eagles, who a bit keen as he wants to get on with the job, but you'd be worried if a horse, Derby horse, didn't want to get on with the job. And look at him, he's moved beautifully, absolutely silky smooth mover as he goes down to the 1.5 mile start. We're off for a break. There is the scene at the Curragh. Runners then down at the start. Can't hear a lot from the car, actually. I can't hear a thing, but anyway, I'm sure it's very good. Now, there's going to be a delay at Newcastle, which, for us, is a blessing in disguise. I'll tell you what, I can't hear a lot from that lady, so let's go and get second best and hear from Gary.
A very poor second best of that, Luke. Yes, the crowd here at the Curragh currently enjoying the performance by Hayley Keogh, who's singing the Curragh of Kildare this year's Derby. 2-1 then for Wings of Eagles and 3-1 Cracksman and Valgeist. It's been a fascinating betting market in the build-up to the race, but Wings of Eagles, you could just see from those pictures we brought you a short time ago in the pre-parading, the painstaking final preparations being taken with the Epsom hero. Coolmore team, I think, will be very keen that he backs up the big impression that he created on that occasion. And just getting a little bit revved up there as they broke up from the parade, but I think in many ways that's a good thing. You want the blood to be up for these horses on such a big occasion. He was nice and relaxed before he went into the parade. And Valgeist seemed to take everything in his stride as well. And Cracksman, you can just see there on the left a shot. He was the one we didn't get a chance to have a look at of the main protagonists in the preliminaries. Just being brought nice and steadily over to the 1.5 mile start by last year's winning jockey Pat Smullen. Pat also won it on Grey Swallow for Dermot Well, but he's in the great position of being free to take up this spare ride today. Cracksman, a lot of people felt in the Epsom race things didn't pan out ideally for him, and that he'll certainly be better suited by today's track, but that's something you can say about quite a few of these. a level playing field here at the Curragh, but Wings of Eagles I think was the winner on merit at Epsom, and certainly looks as though plenty of people are happy to row in with him to follow up. Looks as though, Luke, they might be getting their house in order though over at Newcastle. What's the latest news?
Number 4, Brian Ellison's horse, Gary, has been withdrawn.
So that's how it played out at Newcastle. Loading is nearing completion here at the Curragh. Looks like we're going to be pretty much to time for the Dubai Duty Free Irish Derby. Volguy's just gone in. The last 2 will be Douglas MacArthur and Grandee. The only one who really got very stewed up in the preliminaries was the Amble, who's one of the big outsiders here under Anna O'Brien. Here we go then with Des Cahill for commentary.
All appear in now for the Dubai Duty Free Irish Derby over 1.5 miles, and they're off and running. And Grandee jumped away smartly in the centre to dispute the lead, with Douglas MacArthur who's close up, and they're being followed by the Anvil. Just after the Anvil then is Taj Mahal. As they settle down now, the Anvil has come through and just picks it up. Douglas MacArthur on the outside of Capri, and they're being closely followed by Taj Mahal. Grandee's on the inside of Wings of Eagles. Cracksman is next, and they're followed by Valgeist, and the back marker is Dubai Sand. They race on now right over on the far side with the Anvil and Anna O'Brien opening up a 3 to 4 length lead over Capri and Shamie Heffernan in second. Douglas MacArthur runs third for Donnacha O'Brien, being followed then by Taj Mahal and Wayne Lorden. Wings of Eagles and Ryan Moore next, and then Grandee and Colm O'Donoghue on the inside of Cracksman and Pat Smullen. Couple of lengths then to Valgeist and Pierre-Charles Boudou, with the back marker Dubai Sand and Kevin Manning. They're beginning now to race right up on the far side and climbing towards the 7. The Anvil continues to blaze the trail in front of Capri, followed by Douglas MacArthur. After Douglas MacArthur is Taj Mahal, and they're being followed by Wings of Eagles as the 5 Ballydoyle runners 1 to 5 at this stage, followed by Grandee and Cracksman, and then comes Valgeist last but 1 ahead of the back marker, who is Dubai Sand. Shortly now making the descent down towards the straight in the Dubai Duty Free Derby, and it's the Anvil and Anna O'Brien out in front by 4 lengths. Capri running second. Douglas MacArthur is third. In 4th place is Taj Mahal. Then comes the Epsom winner, Wings of Eagles on the inside, tracked then by Cracksman, Grandee and Valgeist and Dubai Sand. About to breast the bend now to turn for home, and it's the Anvil 2.5 in front of Capri. Douglas MacArthur is third and Taj Mahal 4. Wings of Eagles next, and then Cracksman, Grandee and Valgeist trying to pick up as they race now towards the 2 mark. Capri and Shamie Heffernan come there to pick it up, followed by Douglas MacArthur and Donnacha O'Brien. Wings of Eagles and Ryan Moore now beginning to run on strongly in the middle of the track. Cracksman down the outside with Valgeist in between them. They're racing inside the last 200. Capri and Wings of Eagles on the outside. Cracksman producing a run for Pat Smullen. They're inside the last 100 yards. Capri on the inside. Cracksman on the near side. Capri has done it! Another one for Aidan O'Brien and Shamie Heffernan. Close second, Cracksman and Wings of Eagles. Valgeist is 4th and Douglas MacArthur 5.
Well, a great finish, but try as they might, they just could not get past this horse today. Capri has won the Dubai Duty Free Irish Derby for 2017, holding off the challenge of Cracksman and his Derby winning stable companion Wings of Eagles, who try as they might, just could not peg him back. It is a photo for second. It's quite tight actually, so we'll just hold fire on that. But Capri at 6 to 1, well back today, back on this more conventional track, has proved his worth here in a race that's been very, very kind to Shamie Heffernan down the years. Here's the closing stages once again. Took over from the Anvil in a race that was run at a good gallop. Douglas MacArthur was in the mix at this stage as well. The others were coming from further back in the field. Cracksman looked as though he was coming under a bit of pressure off the home bend, but he's actually responded really well for Pat Smullen. Valgeist in between runners, just a little bit squeezed for room laid on, but I think his effort was flattening out at that stage in any case. And Capri clinging on grimly in the dying strides to hold off the other pair. This Galileo Colt 2 was placed in the Ballysaxon Derrenstown Stud Derby trials earlier on in the season, before running 6th at Epsom, beaten just 4 lengths. And he has put it all together today. Not a great deal to choose between these 3-year-old colts, quite a few of them. Douglas MacArthur, of course, had beaten Capri in the Derrinstown earlier on in the season, but he had to settle for a minor role today. All the right horses really dominating the finish. The front 4 in the market filling the first 4 places. Looking at that shot there, he seemed to be headed, if anything, by Cracksman at one stage, but battled back. Cracksman has been confirmed as second. Wings of Eagles taking minor honours back in 3rd position today, but it's the white cap. Shamey Heffernan, I think it was the pink cap, wasn't it, at Epsom, of Padraig Becky and Wings of Eagles. Today it's the white cap in the Derek Smith colours. Shamey Heffernan wins another Irish Derby on Capri.
Yeah, I know Gary had a little bit of a fancy for him, and he was absolutely spot on. Wings of Eagles, look, he's still run a solid race, but when you think about it, you know, you go into an Epsom Derby unfancied, you're dropped in, you come through and win, you're ridden fancied like this, it's a completely different story. Cracksman has upheld that Derby for him, and Capri wasn't beaten fine, he got no run in the race either. So, a belting contest, really was set at a very, very solid gallop. Shamey Heffernan, he deserves that. Really, really top man, and that'll mean so much to him. It really will, and well deserved as well. So there we go. Still
a moment for another Irish Derby. Capri, any surprise in that?
No, Gary, Seamus always had great belief in this horse, and even after Epsom he had great belief. And listen, he's the one that always believed in him, Gary. Listen, like I said, even after Epsom, Seamus wanted to come here and ride him, and listen, we know that he gets 1.5 miles well, and we know that he's brave. Seamus had a lovely position through the race. Andrew was very happy with him at home. Christopher, who rides him out, was very happy. Seamus rides him work himself. We thought Anna would make the run, in which she did, an even pace. Seamus or Donegal were going to sit second, third. Wayne was going to sit fourth. Ryan was going to go down the inside, and that's the way the race went. So listen, I thought Seamus gave him a brilliant ride. Now, he paced it brilliant, and he had a target there, and he knew the field was coming behind him, but he timed it to perfection, Gary.
And your reaction to Wings of Eagles and the other teams?
No, Wings ran very well. Came there to go, and maybe a tough 1.5 miles might be as far as he wants to go. He just might have got outstayed today. Like he showed real 1.25 pace in Epsom. He came there and sprinted and finished it very quick, but still ran very good. I thought they all ran great, Gary. Really.
And the winner, I presume, will stick over those 1.5 miles good races.
I think so. Listen, he's a horse, uncomplicated, gets 1.5 miles well, like he showed today.
Yeah, terrific stuff. Well done. Thanks, Aidan.
Thanks, Gary. Pleasure.
I suppose the most interesting insight there, Shamey Heffernan's continued faith in Capri. Richard, he obviously knows the horse inside out, rides him work, and said, yeah, I want to stick with him, and thought he could go well.
Well, they're a great team, aren't they? And, you know, you've got people like Shamey Heffernan, and who, you know, so often steps aside, but he steps aside or gets on the other horse, so to speak. But, yeah, he's stuck with Capri. And, well, he's been given his just rewards, hasn't he? I mean, stayed on really well. It was interesting, Aidan saying, you know, maybe Wings of Eagles was outstayed, showed lots of pace, showed 1.25 miles pace in the Derby, really. Yeah. You know, he didn't have quicken up, didn't he?
He did, but off a pretty strong pace, many would say. And
yeah, but I guess the difference is you know, you're
renewal of rivalry between the Derby winner and Cracksman, and also the French ace Valgeist was in the field. Here's what happened.
They're being followed by the Anvil. Just after the Anvil then is Taj Mahal. As they settle down now, the Anvil has come through and just picks it up. Douglas MacArthur on the outside of Capri, and they're being closely followed by Taj Mahal. Grandy's on the inside of Wings of Eagles. Cracksman is next, and they're followed by Valgeist, and the back marker is Dubai Sand. They race on now right over on the far side with the Anvil and Anna O'Brien opening up a 3 to 4 length lead over Capri and Shamey Heffernan in second. Douglas MacArthur runs third for Donegal O'Brien, being followed then by Taj Mahal and Wayne Lorden. Wings of Eagles and Ryan Moore next, and then Grandy and Colm O'Donoghue on the inside of Cracksman and Pat Smullen. Couple of lengths then to Val Geist and Pierre-Charles Boudou, with the back marker Dubai San and Kevin Manning. They're beginning now to race right up on the far side and climbing towards the 7. The Anvil continues to blaze the trail in front of Capri, followed by Douglas MacArthur. After Douglas MacArthur is Taj Mahal, and they're being followed by Wings of Eagles as the 5 Ballydoyle runners 1 to 5 at this stage, followed by Grandee and Cracksman, and then comes Valgeese last but 1 ahead of the back marker, who is Dubai San. Shortly now making the descent down towards the straight in the Dubai Duty Free Derby, and it's the Anvil and Anna O'Brien out in front by 4 lengths. Capri running second. Douglas MacArthur is third. In 4th place is Taj Mahal. Then comes the Epsom winner, Wings of Eagles on the inside. Tracked then by Cracksman, Grandee and Valgeist and Dubai San. About to breast the bend now to turn for home, and it's the Anvil, 2.5 in front of Capri. Douglas MacArthur is third and Taj Mahal 4. Wings of Eagles next, and then Cracksman, Grandee and Valgeese trying to pick up as they race now towards the 2 mark. Capri and Shamey Heffernan come there to pick it up, followed by Douglas MacArthur and Donnacha O'Brien. Wings of Eagles and Ryan Moore now beginning to run on strongly in the middle of the track. Cracksman down the outside with Valgeese in between them. They're racing inside the last 200. Capri and Wings of Eagles on the outside. Cracksman producing a run for Pat Smullen. They're inside the last 100 yards. Capri on the inside. Cracksman on the near side. Capri has done it! Another one for Aidan O'Brien and Shamey Heffernan. Close second, Cracksman and Wings of Eagles. Valgeist is 4th and Douglas MacArthur 5.
Capri, the winner under Shamey Heffernan. Cracksman was getting there under Pat Smullen, along with Wings of Eagles. They had to come from a long way back in the end, the 2nd and 3rd, didn't they?
Yeah, we're just chatting about that. You know, it was when they called it that the Ballydoyle 1 to 5.
Yeah.
You know, they've strung them out, but it's not so much them stringing the field out. It's the fact that, you know, Cracksman and all the others had to make a good 10 lengths up.
Yeah.
And actually, Shamey Heffernan was in a cracking position, wasn't he? He was just sat second. Showed quite a bit of pace early on, which is, well, I mean, it's just a great performance. Capri, do you ever drive one?
No, but my dad did.
So did mine.
Yeah.
Had a green GT.
Ah.
3 litre.
My dad had the 3 litre gear.
Yeah.
Red,
yes.
red with a black vinyl roof.
Oh yes.
Gee
this
whiz,
was green.
what a car! What a car!
Oh, they were cracking, weren't they?
Oh, big bulge on the bonnet.
Oh, we had the 70 road that we used to go. Well, obviously, we used to go 70.